The administration of Milwaukee County, led by County Executive Chris Abele, there was the thought of what would it take to do something big about homelessness?
What would have to happen to eliminate the problem, not reduce it by 5 or 10%?
But end it. So he posed that question to me, went back to my staff, and started to think about what that would look like. One of the biggest things we could think of is what would it take to end chronic homelessness?
Needless to say, it doesn't take too much Googling around on effective approaches to homelessness to run into Housing First.
So we came up with a plan to end chronic homelessness in 3 years, and that's what we presented to the county executive. It literally took one meeting where he said,
"We're sure we can do this, right?"
And if your answer is yes, I'm all in. And we said, yeah, we think we can do it. Two things we started with, we needed a lot of partners. So the first partner we were obviously going to reach out to was the city of Milwaukee.
The approach that we have taken here in the city of Milwaukee with the homeless population, I think can best be characterized as a partnership. We've had a very, very strong partnership with the county, Milwaukee County, with a lot of the agencies that provide housing or provide support, and we work closely with the police department.
First role I play is supporting Housing First and our community prosecutor.
If there was some issue that a person was facing in the criminal justice system, what we were engaging with the police department on was how to resolve that matter without rearresting somebody again.
We wanted to do this plan, and we needed business endorsement.
We are doing everything we can to have our city shine because, candidly, we're selling our city. We want visitors to come here. We want delegates to come here and spend money and create jobs.
For them, it was going to be a new approach, and our thought process was we're going to go into a room with 100 businesses and tell them, we're the government, trust us, it's going to work. We needed to tell the story better. So that's why I reached out to Sam Sambaris. That made a big difference because it wasn't just Milwaukee County saying, here's what we're going to try to do and we think it's going to work. We know it's going to work.
Dr. Sambaris, I think, had them mesmerized because this was an approach our community had never heard before.
The other thing that we did is staffed up our division specifically for this Housing First initiative. I hired Outreach Services Manager Eric Collins-Dyke, and thank goodness I did. We wouldn't have done any of this without his leadership.
I created an outreach collaborative in the community, and so that brings together the DA, MPD, the Sheriff's Department, the Medical College, all of the outreach teams, including all of the volunteer outreach teams.
We wanted to be able to prove the efficacy of our model, so one of the other first positions we hired is a program evaluator to be able to show locally we can come up with the same data as we've seen across the nation. And then we hired 3 housing navigators.
We have a list of tasks that revolve around engaging with people who are literally outside in effort to help them be more aware of what their options are for housing and shelter. We do late night and early morning outreach because that's when people are most likely to be in their spots.
This is when we find the truly homeless people.
Yeah.
This time of night.
When we started our plan to end chronic homelessness, we wanted to hold ourselves accountable that we were going to do it in 3 years. And we were going to track that every 6 months, and if we're behind, we're going to figure it out. And although we're waiting for our HUD designation, we literally hit that almost to the month of 3 years.
Back in 2011, we had the 6th largest homeless population in the country, with on any given night over 8,500 individuals experiencing homelessness. And the mayor at the time, Mayor Annise Parker, said something has to change. And at the same time, we were named a priority community by HUD. That is not a good designation. That is like getting your wrist slapped with a ruler in class.
That was good because HUD was able to give the city some technical assistance.
And so we used that technical assistance to bring in experts. These were experts that came and helped advise the mayor's office, our housing department, our agencies, our lead agency.
And everybody sat in a room together to figure out what we were doing wrong and what we needed to do to fix it.
What do you call an individual experiencing homelessness in a shelter? Homeless.
What's the answer to people being homeless? Housing.
the only way to end homelessness is permanent housing with supportive services, period.
And that's what we do here in Houston.
So new numbers have come in. Since 2011, Houston has housed 28,000 people. They've reduced homelessness in their community 63%. They have 3,200 people still homeless, but they're the 4th largest city. And in a 2-year period, almost 90% housing retention rates.
So how did you do it, Houston?
The secret sauce here in Houston. Data-driven best practices of Housing First. Working together as a collaborative system. Having a really strong lead agency. And community partners willing to be at the table. We are light years from where we used to be, but we still have lots of work to do.
I don't want us to ever get to the point that we can walk by bike paths or drive by or run by people who are homeless on our streets and we are numb to what we see.
The goal is, within the next couple of years, to house an additional 7,000 individuals experiencing homelessness, to reduce our unsheltered population to below 1,000, and we want to shoot for ending chronic homelessness.